Hello, friends, and welcome to Figure Study, where it has been a long month and an especially long couple of weeks. So I'm keeping things a little bit more simple today with Rocklord's Tombstone. Basically, I'm tired and I want to do something easy. Sorry, but this and G1 stuff is part of the list, so it's gonna get done. But yeah, Tombstone. Not a lot to say about his alt mode. I did used to own more Rock Lords than I seemed to think I did originally, because I'll look at pictures of them and it's like, oh yeah, I had that one, I had that one, I had that one. Tombstone was always my favorite. I had others that I really, really liked as well. Like I forget the name of it, but it was one that was like a metallic-y dark turquoise color that basically looked like the creature from the Black Lagoon. Like that guy was pretty fun. But Tombstone was my favorite. Couldn't really tell you why, but I picked him up at AwesomeCon a while back from a place called Cro-Mag Toys. Their booth was set up there, and they had a lot of cool stuff there. I'm going to include a link in the description if you want to check out their website, because they have a pretty decent selection of a lot of different things and really good prices too, actually. But anyway, yes, Tombstone. He's a Rock Lord, and so he's a rock. They just turn into rocks. I mean, for all the amount of playing I did with the alt modes of my regular Transformers, they may as well have turned into rocks, really, because I don't tend to do the, vroom vroom or swoosh swoosh with the planes and cars and whatnot. It's just kind of, I transform them and then I transform them back into robots and I play with the robots because I was more into the robot side of things and the actual transformation. The fact that you can't really do anything with Tombstone's disguise doesn't really bother me. But he's a rock. I don't remember enough of Rock Lords. I don't think I ever actually watched the cartoon. I think I just got some of the toys, but I don't know what type of rock he's supposed to be specifically. I imagine he's called Tombstone because the shape of his rock is vaguely reminiscent of a tombstone, and I mean, it does stand up like that and look tombstone-y. It's very green, though. Not like an emerald green. This is way too dark for that, but I don't know, maybe like maybe jade or something? I don't know. Maybe he's just a green rock. But that's about it. There's some nice molding, though. Like, there's not really anything in terms of coloration in this mode, because it's all just this metallic-y green plastic. But I do appreciate the fact that it's, like, metallic-y plastic. It does look pretty good. It's got a nice shine to it under the lights here. And you've got visible seams everywhere, especially on this side. Small wonder where the, I was going to say robot, but I think they're not robots. I think they're organic. But, yeah, that's, But there is some nice molding. It gets across the texture of rock really well, with the exception of these screws just right there. Overall, pretty effective at what it is, especially considering the time that this came from. It was like, what, late 80s? Anyway, like I said, he's a rock. There's not a lot to say about it, so let's just get to those size comparisons. Here he is with a deluxe, and he's pretty tiny as a rock. I mean, he's a rock, so of course, but yeah, not very big. And here he is looking like a pebble next to the duck tank. Alright, so as is the norm for the simple stuff, the G1 stuff, Sentai stuff, like basically anything with a simple transformation, I'm just going to walk through it rather than fast forward. So, transforming Tombstone, or whatever they call it, is very, very simple. You just pull out his legs here, just unfold them. Now, there's a step here that I don't remember from my youth, but it does seem to actually make a difference. His hips slide forward when in rock form, but you can actually slide them back a little bit to, I think, just kind of help with his balance. So that's the lower half all done. And for the upper half, you just open up these flaps and uncurl his arms, and then flip up his head. It just tucks in right there, so you just flip that up. And that is Tombstone in his whatever this is mode. Like I said, I don't think they're robots, So some kind of rock snake man. Kind of sounds like a weird news anchor. Rock snake man. Anyway, yes, Tombstone. He still looks predominantly like a green rock with some new details, definitely. He's got the, like, pretty much everything from the waist down is just stuff you've seen before or just flat internal plastic that doesn't have anything spectacular on it. But the upper body is where you get a little bit more detail, like the lighter green for the arms, the more organic looking chest texture there that actually goes all the way up into the neck, and then his little weird snake man face with like either a single eye or a visor, so maybe he is a robot. I don't know. I don't know how this works. It kind of looks like his jaw should be able to open, but it doesn't really, and also it is screwed into place. So missed opportunity there, but that's okay. You get a little bit of head articulation for some reason. I don't really know why, because like here you get that nice green texture of the chest going up into the neck, but if you hinge it forward like this, like it works from like a hunch perspective, but then you lose that detail at the neck. I don't know. I don't know why they decided to do it that way, but you can kind of do like a slight arch forward, give him a slightly more monstrous posture. His arms are just green plastic in the bicep, basically, with a little bit of texture and little clawed finger hands in the forearms there. Really simple, not a lot going on here in terms of design. Or, well, yeah, design, but also in terms of texture and whatnot. But I still like him a lot. He's pretty cool. I like how he unfolds really simply, but it works. And the proportions for a 1980s-ish toy that transforms are really not bad. Like, he's got the kind of thick, chunky Mega Man-looking boots, but then his thighs and his arms aren't too terribly off. Granted, yes, his shoulders are like sticking way out here when realistically they should be probably more like this, just to kind of bring those arms closer into the body, which I guess you could do. Call it a fan mode. And then he's got the very large chest, but not like, I don't know, like it's a larger than you would think it should be chest for a humanoid character, but at the same time, it's not like as absurdly large as some G1 Transformers have been, so I think that works. And then he's got this extremely long neck leading to his little fanged head that just kind of gives him a snake vibe. And I think that was the point of his character in the show. I think, like I said, I never really watched the show, but he definitely looks like a rock monster man. Just want to do one more look at the head there, because while it's a little bit awkwardly squarish, it does look cool. I like the yellow for the visor, and I also like the fact that they painted his fangs, top and bottom. And it also looks like the inside of his mouth is red. It's pretty cool that they did that with the paint detailing. Alright, so let's get him in position for size comparisons. Like I said, it's a simple figure. There's not a whole lot that I can say about it. But anyway, here he is with our other green boy, and as you can see, he definitely gets height and fills out better when he transforms, but he does not hold a candle to a deluxe. I think he's probably a little bit bigger than a Legends, though. Actually, what the heck, I've got a shelf within arm's reach that actually has figures on it now, so there he is with a Legends figure, specifically Cosmos, or more specifically Transformers Adventure Atoms, but yes, he is definitely taller than a Legends Transformer, but also definitely smaller than a deluxe. Compared to other 80s toys, something this small was probably considered microscopic. But anyway, here he is with the duck tank. And I do believe that is going to do it for Rock Lord's Tombstone. He is a simple little guy, as you'd expect from one of these older figures. But he's cool. I like him. He's simple, but he gets the job done. He's a neat little snake man that is made of rocks and might be a robot. But yeah, they're fine. Their alternate modes are definitely useless lumps in a literal sense because they're rocks, but that's fine. Like I said, there's a certain charm to it. But that's enough about what I think of Tombstone. What do you all think? Have any of you had Rock Lords in the past, or is this the first you're hearing of them? And if you did have Rock Lords before, which one was your favorite? Because, I mean, I know there are a lot, but I will say, if you do mention your favorite and you mention them by name, you might also want to give a descriptor, because I only remember the names of like 3 of them. But whatever your thoughts, feel free to chime in down below. I always enjoy hearing from you all. And while you're at it, also feel free to like, subscribe, or if you're feeling generous, you could buy me a coffee. Any of those things would make me a happy Rob. And remember, art is more than meets the eye.